Hello, welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. My name is Emily. We find ourselves here at Great Yarmouth. I'm going to reach the doors, get the doors open. There goes 156. And we'll go in the cab, we'll get ourselves set up. So we'll switch to the front cab. Key on the desk, reverse it to neutral. Huh. GPWS panel lit up there. First time I noticed that. That's a bug. Anyway, we'll put our brake on. Train brake release. You're not really supposed to do that, but I do it anyway. And we'll do K to get rid of our tail light. J for our markers, H for our headlights. This is the AP47. Not really a first look, most people have done those, but it's just a nice little run out on it. It's a route we've done before, but it's a route I really enjoy driving. So I thought it would be a nice little way to wrap things up for a while. So you've got us here with our lovely little Mark IIs, no aircons. So these are no aircon Mark II, so these got the opening windows to get fresh air in. And it's a no, it's a freight 47. So that means it's got no heating equipment on board. So basically it's just pure thrash. We've got a BSO. Yeah, looks like a BSO. So yeah, brake standard open, so that's the luggage compartment and the guard's office. And we move our way down, we've got a Tizzo, try standard, another Tizzo. And a tail lamp on the back. Happy days. 100 miles an hour in our stock, which is fine. Got 158796 here. He's on his way to Derby, to Coventry, sorry. We're on our way to Birmingham, and there's a service arriving from Liverpool Lime Street to Great Yarmouth. So there's a blocker in front of us to hold the signal off, and parcels 47, 47543, and 86217, Halley's Comet coming in. Now they're the Aircon Mark IIs, Mark III Buffy, more Mark IIs, and a Dibso on the rear. We are Dibso fans here at Emily Industries. Anyway, back to the front of our train. Are we going yet? Nearly. I'm not going to move away until I see the signal pull off. So, we are, like I say, going to be... There you go, signal's pulled off. So, we'll wait for our... I don't think we're going to actually get a buzz here. We are just going to have to window hang. Now, so we don't get a buzz because it is in a 3-wire train. 2 low, high, soft, which is as good as we get here. Brakes off. Bit of power. Bit of a jolt there as we moved away. Don't know what that otherwise was. I don't know if that was for the other train. Arguably, I should have checked because that was a single blast of the whistle, which usually means stop. But we're playing a game, so I know that I wouldn't receive that stop signal. There we go. And we'll do that. And there you go, brakes. So 15 miles anywhere. As we pass Great Yarmouth signal box and Great Yarmouth carriage sidings, now the home of Great Eastern Rail Services. So yes, what's going on while I'm making this little video? Good question, glad you asked it. The reason is, I am taking a bit of an extended break from YouTubing. So I do video every Monday, Saturday and Sunday. I've had the Monday videos going for well over a year now. And I feel like I'm sort of burning out with it, and I am making videos and I don't want to make videos, which makes rubbish videos. I'm also making them when I don't have the, frankly, spoons to make them for decent quality, so I'm just going to pause for now. I'm not going away, I just want to rethink the format of how I do YouTubing, because it doesn't make sense to do a weekly video, because I don't think that's the best way to do it anyway. And I think a better thing to do would be to do sort of seasons, and then have a gap, you know, sort of like a season where I can do, let's say, Thameslink for a few months, and we just bash Thameslink trains for a few months, and then, you know, sort of move around that way and just see what happens. Also means I'll be taking my time with it, so I'll have a couple of weeks between, in which to actually make some decent quality videos, and actually think about the videos, and not just be going, right, what can I do today? This route is superb, and the modelling on this loco is like the Wary Lines is a really good route to run this on, because this loco is superbly detailed. The visuals inside, it's so nicely done. You've got the slow speed simulated here. You've got RETB, interestingly, and like I say, there's TPWS panel that lit up when I was doing the AWS self-test up there, even though it's obviously not fitted on this loco, as it hasn't been invented the time that this scenario is set in. I'm going a bit fast, but it's pre OTMR, so no one cares. That 943 is actually a 60-mile-an-hour post. And there we go. We'll just rattle our way down the Joiner track here on our way to Reedham. So yes, it's actually to drive. Actually, what we'll do is, I have realised I've not done a running brake test yet, and it's important that we do those, so put a bit of brake on. Observe a 10-mile-an-hour reduction of speed of the train. Look how long it's taking these brakes to kick in. Christ, guys, we're on level ground. Come on. There you go, bit of brake coming off, bit of brake coming off, bit of speed coming off. Okay, that's 50. There you go, so brake will release now. There's horrific braking power on this train. It's good to be aware of it, though. And now that we've got that off, I love that sort of a Sulzer engine. Oh, look at that. So much clag. Hang on, yeah, my clag's longer than the train. Love it. And oh no, there's 60, so I've got to chop the power off. Engines run back. Was that Bernie Arms? No. Bernie Arms is a ways in the future, I believe. So there you go, but it's a gorgeous loco. I'm going to do a bit of a manual read actually whilst I'm here. So this was meant to be a talkie video, but I've run out of things to talk about. So this is volume 1 of 3. This one's $29.99. If the next one's, to be honest, my take here would be, if this one's $29.99, the next one is $29.99, or say $20 if you've got volume 1. Volume 3 will probably require volume 2 and 1 and 2, and that should be like a tenner. That is my opinion on what the pricing should be, but $29.99, absolutely reasonable for this. Given it's 2026, it's reasonable. So let's have a top to bottom of the manual. Let's have a look and see what we find. How to install, no one cares. Overview, focusing on the late 70s through to privatisation in the late 90s. Volume 1 represents a very changeable era for both British Rail and the Class 47 itself. With over 500 locomotives built and such immediate utility across the entire network, the Class saw many liveries and modifications. We've done our best to represent the vast array of modifications made to the Class over this period, both inside and out, along with a substantial set of liveries and associated nameplates. Your variants and liveries are BR Blue Domino Headbox, BR Blue Plated Headbox, BR Blue Headlight with orange cant rail, BR Blue Domino Headbox Silver Roof, Plated Headbox, obviously this with silver roof, headlight with cant rail, headlight with orange cant rail, and NSC logo, that's for silver roof. Large logo with orange cant rail, without orange cant rail, without orange cant rail, and with NSC logo, with orange cant rail, and NSC logo. BRL freight without cant rail, with cant rail. Rail freight red stripe. BR departmental, BR civil engineers, BR trainload freight. Without faded logos, with faded logos. Correction. Rail freight distribution. Without EPS, with EPS, and unbranded. Parcels, with BR logo, without BR logo, with NSE logo. Res, Rail Express Systems, with BR logo and crude diesel depot plaque, without BR logo and crude diesel depot plaque. Network Southeast revised, Network Southeast with BR logo and without BR logo. Intercity, with Intercity logo, with ScotRail logo. ScotRail, with Intercity logo, unbranded, and with NSC logo. Intercity Mainline revised, Intercity Swallow, early to mid-90s, mid to late 90s, and red buffer beam. So there's quite a bit there in terms of variety for us to play with. Thrash. Cab guide, I'm not covering off on that, but there is, you can mess with that to change it into different brake modes. I'm not touching that because I'll break the train. Back wall, that's pretty standard for the AWS and isolation. That's a standard feature now for AP stuff. AWS isolation switch, which is simulated apparently, and the handbrake. Track circuit operating clips, which don't work. Cab variations. Cab variations. Weathering the external condition of the locomotive. Your driving is also reflected in how dirty the cab is. That's cool. If your locomotive is externally shabby, then the cab will be too. PAX, Propelling Advisory and Control System. Fitted to RES logos. In the mid-90s, the system is assisted with propelling mail trains at slow speeds. This is a visual function and not actually simulated. So the PAX is where the slow speed control is. And there's a handset there as well. Slow speed, that's what this has got. So this is for unloading MGR trains and it's functional. I've tested it. It's quite fun. Beginning in 1979, a number of Class 47s were fit with push-pull equipment in order to work with Mark II Dibsos between Edinburgh and Glasgow. In the cab, this manifested itself with the telephone to speak to the guard, a driver to guard signal, and a brake valve to carry out brake tests. The driver to guard signal is functional. 47401 through 420, they were fit with the Westinghouse brake equipment instead of the standard Davis Metcalf. Also, due to electrical differences, their ammeters read from 0 to 5,000 amps. Instead of the standard 0 to 10,000. Put a bit of brake in. That'll do. The ammeter. Over the years, many locomotives progressively received the newer style ammeters. We have represented this on pre-1998 locomotives. There's a low chance of having the new style ammeter. On post-1998 locomotives, there's a high chance with the new style ammeter. The new style is not that, basically. Mug plate. Some locomotives were fitted with a mug plate for the driver to place the mug of tea on. That's what that is there. Air-only gauge layout, which is not what we have, because we have vacuum. Just going to feed into the 15. So I can't actually remember where that 15 starts on this route. Oh, I've got a while yet. Breaking it down nice and gently though. When the majority of 47.8s had their vacuum braking equipment capabilities removed, the vacuum brake gauge was removed and the speedometer centred. So that's removed and that goes to there on a dash 8. Let the brakes off. When Res had their vacuum brake equipment removed, some of the brake gauge removed, and the resultant gap covered. So yeah, basically there's just a blank over that vacuum gauge that you see. Anti-slip button on post-1998 locomotives. The anti-slip button is relocated to the left side of the cab desk. So it's not fit, but it's basically there. Due to the button on the power handle becoming unreliable. So you can see it's a little bit of brake on, tiny amount, just enough to stop us slipping. Snaking over the points here, and we are going to erupt away again from Reading. So like I say, we are one stop saying that to Norwich. Steam pressure gauge on locomotives fitted with a boiler pre-1998, 47.0s which used to have a boiler. The steam pressure gauge is visible next to the ammeter. Headlight switch. If your locomotive is fitted with a headlight, the relevant switch should be visible. Yep. To the left of the main air reservoir gauge. So these are the older style. There's the newer style Chapman seats, which are the ones that got a nice sort of check maquette on them. Checked, not check. I'm check, they're checked. In the 80s, NRN was fitted to all locos. That reminds me, I had to plug that in. Forgot to do that in the setup. I love how easy it is to do this. There you go. In the 1980s, the NRN radio was fitted to all locomotives. This resulted in the addition of a centre console, which the radio is mounted to. Oh, is there any slip brake button? Just checking through to see if there's anything fun here. Clag factor, we'll make sure that's set. Yep, that's set to a 10. Oh, crikey, we can put some more power on. So I'm turning on the turbocharger chirp there. I can't quite tell what that is. We'll also turn up our... Ooh, that's weird. So the turbocharger, basically I think it's just a poorly 37 we've got on the go. A 47 correction. That turbocharger chirp is really annoying. I understand why it's curable now. Also, we've got bug splatter on the windscreen. That's a nice little thing to note. You've only got 2 tones of the horn. Horn factor, so there's 7 record different horns. Let's go with that one. It's a bit more full on. Nothing else to be looked at there. Moving down. As with the cab, many external variations have been modelled. Domino head code, plated head code, box black, plated head code box, sealed marker lights, plated head code box, yellow sealed marker lights, flush front inset marker lights, flush front flush marker lights, headlights, Scottish headlight, basically a car headlight, body skirt, no body skirt, short range fuel tanks, long range fuel tanks, batteries only, original tail lights, RAS tail lights, ETH variant 1, ETH variant 2, RCH jumper cables, TDM jumper cables, vacuum pipe, brown buffer, oval buffer, square buffer, NRN antenna, horn grill covers, anti-door steps, green spot multiple working, which is the thing that hangs out of there basically. Green spot multiple working 47-9, slow speed control bogey box, compressor cooling pipes, boiler, no boiler, plated or over boiler. Nameplates 400 plus 2D nameplates have been provided. Obviously it would be lovely to have them as 3D, but I understand why that's not the case. We should put a bit of brake in. Let it slow down. I made it go a bit quick there. This one's at 75, I oversped the loco. Oopsie. I don't really care about that. That's probably quite realistic driving. Because, so I've spoken to sort of old hand drivers, and back in this day of the railway, it was really common to speed and absolutely rag the locos around. It was basically, as long as you knew you could get away with it, you would do it. Like, it was... Now, because what my route knowledge tells me is this is a pretty arrow straight section. But I also know I'm coming up on Brundle in the not too distant future, and that's somewhere where I can get a train put out in front of me, so I need to be aware. Like I say, 400 plus 2D nameplates are provided. Please see below for the examples. There's just a few. The thing is, the 2D ones, they look really good as well, though. So I sort of, it's one of those. I love 3D, but I understand by 2D. Track-safe effort. A lot of nerdiness there. I'm not really going to dive into it. Fuel diverts have been implemented the correct 33, 45, and 60. We'll have a listen for that. Variable performance, so that's basically max plus minus a 10%. Wheel slip protection is simulated. So no, not WSP, crew form wheel slip protection fixed to locomotives, which aids in the driving poor adhesion. Power is reduced when the slip indicator illuminates in the cab. Once the slip stops, power is reapplied. Yes, so the idea is for this, that would give me 20 psi of loco brake, and that just scrubs my wheels basically, so it cleans my wheels so they're a bit. That's the idea of that, so it's not for reduced braking or anything like that. Adhesion, standard AP adhesion, malarkey. So it tells you on like functionality of the brakes, so I'm not going to dive into that. You can read this all, I'm just sort of covering the fun bits. Coolant, so you can basically boil the coolant. Well, you can't boil it, but you can overheat it. So the higher the load on the engine, the more heat that is created. This operates on a delay. So from full power, for example, it will take 60 seconds for the full heating effect of this power change to take effect. This takes into account the heating time of the engine components. Temperatures will currently be pumped around the system before it reaches the thermostat. So the fans are stationary. So the following things happen depending on temperature. At 158 degrees of coolant temperature, the radiator shutters will open when power is applied. At 163 Fahrenheit, one set of radiator shutters will stay open regardless of whether power is applied. At 168 Fahrenheit, roof stands will start spinning and both sets of radiator shutters will stay open regardless of if power is applied. 178 Fahrenheit, the roof fans will spin at full speed. At 198 Fahrenheit, the fault alarm will illuminate the cab on the cab desk regardless of power handle position to get a high water temperature. This one's the driver that coolant is in danger of burning dry. This fault will not extinguish until the coolant temperature falls below 158 Fahrenheit. If power is not eased off, you will run the risk of the engine shutting itself down. This is rather rare and not a risk unless running in the hottest months of July and August in the middle of the day with full power for a prolonged amount of time. It would be fun to try and do that, but oh cack, I wasn't paying attention. I was reading. I'm trying to creep up to this. See what I mean? They're in emergency and just nothing's happening. My local break in as well, eh? There we go, it's pulled off. Cleared in. So that's the alarm, like that. I got it to illuminate because I had too much braking when I was revving the engine. Pulling against the brakes. The brakes do not like it, they don't like it. Gradients, that's the standard gradient stuff. Slow speed control. TLDR. Scroll that knob, set third power, it'll only hold that speed. To turn it off, put it back to 0. Got the signal pulled off, so we're clear to proceed through Brundall. I want my thumbnail from here. Imagine being on that footbridge. Oh dear. I do love the 47. It's one of those locos that is, I think, been really underappreciated in train sim because we've never had a really good one. Like I suppose the Huddersfield Line one was alright, but like this standard of good. And now I think, especially when Volume 2 comes out, there's going to be a lot of updating of scenarios and stuff to do. I think it's going to be a really good little time to be playing train sim over the next couple of months. Because I'm assuming, to be honest with you, I thought the next pack from AP was going to be the London to Corby, or Bedford to Corby extension for their enhanced Midland Main Line. But no, it's this, and this came out of nowhere, really, didn't it? It just sort of appeared. There we go. NRN, how to NRN, that's fine. DVD. I'm not turning that on, but it's just I'll let you listen to it, hear what it sounds like. I want to know what it sounds like as well, to be fair. Standard beep 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 beep. Tail lights. As built, only one tail light could be shown on either end of the locomotive. This resulted to recreate the convention of single tail lamp at the rear of a train. This convention changed for locomotives and modifications carried out in the mid to late 90s to have both tail lamps illuminated when selecting either left hand side or right hand side of the tail light switch. This has been simulated so any locomotive with modern type overhead line warning flashes, which were introduced in 1998, will have both tail lights illuminated. Trailing mode. To simulate this locomotive shut down in a consist or with engine idling not providing any power, we've provided trailing mode, which can be found in the scenario editor with a trail suffix. By default, the engine will be idling to have a shutdown at dead. Dead equals 1. Dynamic exhaust effects, we've covered that. That's clag factor. Now, let's see what I can do about a bit of spark factor. No, I didn't see any there, but you're supposed to get sparks flying off the brakes as you take a sharper brake application. Also, just noticed that light illuminated. That's bad. Great Yarmouth signal box should have stopped me and had me fix that. I don't actually know if we're required to slow down for this. But, oh no, we didn't make it down in time. Oh well, back to speed we go. So any tread brake locomotive is prone to the odd spark under heavy braking, but Class 47 is particularly known for it due to the Sulzer engine's propensity for leaking oil. This inevitably leaks through the engine room floor and reaches the bogies, which then ignites when the temperature of the blocks is hot enough. When a perfect storm of conditions lines up, it can create quite the fireworks. Cold start. Standard cold start procedure. This was recorded on 47596 at the Mid-Norfolk Railway. We have attempted to capture every nuance of the classic Sulzer 12 LDA28-C engine. To achieve this, and for the sake of audio simulation, we've divided the power handle into 9 invisible notches and edited individual rev-up sounds for every possible combinations between these 9 notches. This means you nearly always have a dedicated rev-up sound with all its quirks and characters rather than using loops, simply increasing or decreasing in pitch. This is required a lot more work, but its difference is night and day. In addition, the 47 can be revving up from standing start and compared around 30 miles an hour, where the engine is at max load. As a result, each rev-up sound has 2 versions, a standard start and a 30 mile an hour or above version. Crikey, I'm going quick again. I need to slow it down because we're approaching Norwich. Turbocharger. The distinct turbocharger scream is depicted in this pack, particularly audible from the number 2 end cab. In addition to this, some locomotive turbochargers have been chirped due to carbon build-up on the turbine blades. Our research suggests that some locomotives do this fairly soon after revving up, and the chirp occurs at frequent intervals. There's a 1 in 50 chance that you have a loco with this interesting sonic feature. It can also be turned on and off by pressing Ctrl T. Alternatively, good locomotives produce more power, but most have been known to begin chirping after a prolonged period of full power. A chance of having one of these locomotives or simulating tied with our power factor feature. Finally, if you're lucky enough to have a chirper, look out for the puff of exhaust or smoke every time a chirp occurs. I wasn't seeing that, I'm not gonna lie. Horn, different horn variants, we've covered some of them. Is one that we're sticking to for this, but you've got everything right the way through. And so these two, so all of those horns that you heard there, 1 to 4 were recorded from 47s, 5 to 7 were recorded from 57s, but obviously 57s are just rebuilt 47s, so the horns are exactly the same. And obviously you can put 2-speed, like you can do the various horns for AI, which we don't really care about for the purpose of this video. Bits and bobs. Compressors will only run when the reverser is away from off. The only exception is 7013717, which will modify to have their compressors work regardless, to allow them to work with dipsos. If you're using a locomotive of 7013717 with a Mark II D or E, or 3A, sorry, you get a buzz buzz, or a ding ding. 1 second delay on AWS standard, headlights standard, fire bell. There you go. That's fun and games. Right, I'm hammering in here, I feel like. We'll go in at 20, I believe, for Norwich Station. Opening cab doors is also visible from the outside. Can confirm. During the summer, there's a chance of bugs will spot itself on your windscreen. You can clean it up by operating the wiper. So got 1, 2 bugs, I believe, possibly a third there. There you go, bugs removed. Bug be gone. No, that's a stop signal. Hang on, does that apply to me? No, it doesn't. That was just a brake test, folks. Nothing to be alarmed by. I'm just going to pull in here and I'll end the scenario when we decouple. I do enjoy the fact that it's simulated at different positions. That Sherp has gone mad, isn't it? Dear God. That is properly grubby, that. ScotRail 47. Now I just need to stop anywhere within the platform as long as I am clear of the runaround point, because I'm running around my train here. And this train will then get taken on to Brum by another driver. I'll just put a light brake on and just stop it here somewhere. Everybody off. So, like I say, we'll do the decouple here. Actually, no, we won't. I'm going to end it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I say, it'll be a bit of a break after this. I don't have a target really for when I want the next video to come out. It might be in a couple of weeks. It might be in September. Who the crap knows? I certainly don't. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.